Hello there, welcome back. Good morning. If you just joined us here on the show, this is Prime Morning here on Prime Morning, which is about having our conversation, news flash, talking about the various issues that have come up in the world of politics and, of course, economics and all of that. Usually we check out the front pages of the newspapers and then we get into major conversations, but we're not going to be doing so because we don't have our newspapers as of now. We still have them, enjoying the New Year holidays and all of that. But as and when we're able to grab the newspapers moving forward, we'll be bringing you the details on the front pages like we always do. But don't forget that you can join us here on the show and share your thought with us. As always, our social media pages are opened. WhatsApp is very active, and also you can do so on social media. Facebook, we're streaming live over there. You can go on Twitter, Instagram, and also on TikTok to share your views and opinions on the issues that we talk about here on the show. We say a big thank you to Nutri Snacks this morning for making it possible for us to have a conversation. It's what you need this morning. If you're getting on your day, if you want to have a good day, you might just as well want to get yourself Nutri Snacks and enjoy the very best of it. It's very delicious and it's nutritious as well. Trust me, you will never, ever regret it, all right? So go to the supermarkets, go to the shops, ask of it, and enjoy the very best of it. And also, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m., we'll bring you what we call the Step Up. It's the show that you needed to win some money and also get to entertain yourself, and you're not missing out that for anything. So please do go ahead and watch at 7:30 p.m. every Sunday right here on Joy Prime. And George Gray will be there to entertain you. So just go ahead. Deco is saying that we're giving you some very serious giveaways this Christmas and New Year season. We're still up in the celebration mood. And Deco is saying that any furniture that you pick, we've got some very good deals on it. So you can just come, if you want to do some good, you want to show somebody some love, don't be buying the usual things that you've been buying. Just go in there and check out any of our products that you want to buy. And trust me, you're going to get a good deal so you can be able to purchase that and give to the person that you want to give to. All right? Let's show some love. It's a new year. Hello. And let's show it and show it well, okay? Let's not do the usual things. Now, Pizza Man, Chicken Man is giving you some deals as well. And so, if you're a fan of eating good food, and you go to Pizza Man and Chicken Man, we've got something special for you in our branches here in Accra and Kumasi. So all you have to do is you just go there and request for your favorite food. And when you do that, you're getting yourself some deals on that as well, all right? So yeah, take something small, get in there and enjoy some very large, portions of foods that you want to purchase. And that's what I'm talking about. It's Pizza Man, Chicken Man. It's really, really, really flaming hot, all right? So just go ahead and grab yours as well. Now, on Fridays at 8 p.m., we bring you on a more serious note. It's a new show. We started off last week, Friday, and it's been, awesome conversations. And around that, of course, you want to be a part of it at 8 p.m. Myself and my partners in fun, like I call them, will be coming your way at 8 p.m. on Friday. Friday nights just got better, all right? So make sure you tune in on Friday. It's on a more serious note. And myself, Saminiwa, and Fifi will be coming your way again. Last week, Friday, we had some really, really interesting conversation. If you missed out, you can go on our social media page and get some sniping on there. And, send us your feedback as well. We'll be glad to read from you. All right, so that's what it is. But don't forget that your comments, your dedications, you can send them. I said we'll be getting on them ahead of time. And so please do well to get it to us on our social media, on WhatsApp. If you have someone who is celebrating their birthdays today, you can send it over there and we're going to celebrate that person, on the show, all right? So, that's what it is. But once again, belated birthday going out to you, man, like Sedem of House of Sedem. Yesterday was your birthday. Belated one going out to you. He's in charge of my costumes, and he's the crazy guy that has been putting all those crazy costumes together for me. All right, belated birthday going out to you once again, House of Sedem. God bless you, my brother. All right, let's get into it right now. This morning, I've been joined by Adele. I'll be introducing him in a couple of minutes, but we have a lot of issues that we're going to be talking about here on the show. Earlier, we told you about the GRA issue. We also spoke to you about elections 2024, which is going to be a big deal, no two ways about it. But there's going to be the elimination of the indelible ink, which has come under lots of criticisms. The EC chair is bent on not actually using the indelible ink, replacing that with the biometric machine. After the elections that we had with the district local elections, there seems to be the need for us to revisit the indelible ink. Now, some concerns have come out of that elections that we had with regards to some of the issues that came up. But as to whether the EC is going to go with the indelible ink or not, we're yet to find out. But there's still some concerns that have been coming up, and GLOSAC is the latest to add their voices to it. We'll be looking at that conversation as well. And NDC operatives have sent a very strong warning to Owusu Bempah. They believe that he's been attacking the former president unnecessarily, and they are for peace, but if he continues to act the way he's acting, they're definitely going to be matching him boot for boot. And we're going to be looking at that issue as well. And also, NPP Constituency committee, they've actually put a committee together to take a look at the vetting processes for the parliamentary aspirants in the constituencies. We're going to be looking at that issue too as well here on the show. So these are our major issues that we're looking at this morning. Adali bin Sheikh Umar Ibrahim is National Communications and the Director of Operations Greater Accra Youth Wing for the NDC. He's joined us this morning. He's a family to this place. And so you always see him here on Wednesdays. And as always, he's been joining us here on the show. So happy New Year. And good to see you. First time in the new year.
Good to see you. This is the year.
This is the year, right? It could not be
this is
it.
This is it. This is it. This is it. It actually feels good. Happy New Year to the entirety of the crew and the work you're doing. I've been monitoring from behind the scenes. It doesn't get any easier.
I know.
But your work is it's beautiful. I have an opportunity to sit back behind the scenes and the things that go in there. Oh, when we sit at home, we just see you on TV smiling. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It's a lot of work, and God bless you all for what you're doing. But KMJ, this is the year. Yeah, this is the year. This is the year for redemption. This is a year for an end to modern day slavery. This is the year where the NDC comes back to power. This is the year when we're building that momentum right from now all the way to December, with no stones to be left unturned. This is just the time for it. I mean, I woke up on the 1st of January, just around 12:30, and the smiles was just obvious that, after all these years, eventually we're here. And once January starts, and today is already 3rd, December is coming.
Keeps moving.
Yeah, December is coming. KMJ, this is the year.
This is the year.
This is the year.
And this is the year of elections 2024. Everybody is looking forward to that. And yes, from now till December, there will be a lot of issues, no doubt about it. There will be a lot of concerns raised in the various aspects of our lives, economy, politics, and whatever it is. But we are always hopeful about peaceful elections. Now, the president, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has promised a very peaceful elections, even though he believes that Dr. Bawumia will be, taking charge as the president of the nation eventually when we go to the polls. But he has, on the other side, been very, very, straightforward about giving the country the kind of elections that we all deserve. And we are praying and hoping that it happens exactly what the president has been promising. And so it is what it is. You can send your messages again to us on our social media page. We're streaming live on Facebook. We are on social media, Twitter, Instagram. It's Joy Prime. You can find us over there. And you can also do so on our WhatsApp line as well. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority is actually looking forward to getting some accounts that have not been paying taxes. Now, we're looking at over 70,000 accounts in 40 countries. And the GRA says that they're going to go after these people and ensure that they pay their taxes. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority has also disclosed it will soon go after accounts of Ghanaians who are living out of the country. not paying taxes. Now, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Amishadai also actually disclosed this on PM Express, and it says that over 40 countries that we have actually completed work, and the value of money in these accounts are pegged at $2.8 billion US, and he actually stated on the show. However, the Ghana Revenue Authority has also been able to raise a tax liability of 1.6 billion Ghana cedis, and this is an assessment, and it doesn't actually mean that those monies have already been collected. They're in the processes of collecting those monies. But what is the interesting thing about this is the fact that there has been some sort of agreement that will ensure that other countries will be able to give information that would make it easy for the Ghana Revenue Authority to be able to, as it were, retrieve these monies from those that are owing these monies. I'm talking about the individuals. There are over 70,000 accounts in about 40 countries that are owing these monies. And so it looks like revenue mobilization seems to be going on a different level right now. But the end product is always going to be what these monies have been used for. And that's where the accountability actually comes to. But let's look at the framework of this whole new processes that will lead us into getting these amount of monies from individuals that are living overseas and owing the country. Adele, is it a good news? If it's a good news, how are we looking at this helping in our economical situation?
KMJ, revenue is that one thing that everybody needs. I mean, put it aside, let's put the state aside. Let's take a family, for example. Everybody requires revenue. You need to find ways of making money in order to be able to exchange it for the kind of things that you want. You have to, as a family, you have to find a man who walks out there and then does something. Today, the women are working alongside with us, both parties, raise something, come home, because you have bills to pay. You have electricity, you have water bills, you have school fees, if you have kids to take care of and all of that. And then maybe some recreation there and there. Without revenue, there's nothing. However, KMJ, if you have the revenue, like you said earlier, it is what you use it for that determines whether the family succeeds or not. You can earn 10,000 Ghana cedis as a father at the end of the month if you don't have the discipline to know that you have to save parts of those monies to pay up school fees and pay up bills in the house. It's as useless as, not having anything at all. So the difficulty I have is that this in itself, now if you look at the story, it tells you that Organizations for Economic Cooperation and Development has indicated this is the pact that we've signed onto. And in so doing, we have basically been able to access 70,000 accounts from 40 different countries. We're looking at about $2.8 billion in these accounts. And from the monies that have been seen in those accounts, their liabilities, or what we want to call as taxes, which are supposed to retrieve, which the government can retrieve from this, is about 1.6 billion. KMJ, within the last 7 years, the MPP has received nothing less than 1.4 trillion. This is always where I bring the conversation to. Within the last 7 years, they have received 1.4 trillion. This is a reduced state. This is me taking our debts or taking our loans at 600 billion. But it's more than that, because we're looking at about 715 billion. Let's say 600 billion. This is me looking at our loans and our revenues, which we have received, to a tune of, say, 800 billion, which is also more than that. It's about 838 billion. 800 billion. If you put these two together, we're looking at 1.4 trillion. That is approximately 2 times more what the NDC had in 8 years. What would 1.6 billion do to this government? What would it do? KMJ, it's not the money. It is not how much money you're receiving. It is the ability to be able to utilize it to do something. And it looks as though they sincerely don't care. So for me, in as much as this is good, it's good. I mean, if we have all these sources, what it means is that when the NDC comes to power, there are accesses, and then these funds would come to really support the country as it is. But as we speak, KMJ, I don't see how this 1.6 billion is going to change anything. They have spent so much, there's so much wastage in the system, there's so much money is being, it's amazing. Look, till today, I still sit down and think about Cecilia and I get shocked. You know, like so much such that monies are being pulled out from your room for months. You don't even realize that you are getting missing. Like, KMJ, you know what it feels like when you have very little.
Yeah.
When you leave something in your when you leave some coins in your jeans, you go back and you look for it. Months, and she didn't even notice it. It's a good idea. We love the idea. The fact that, okay, something is going to come to the state is fine. You know, Ghana Revenue Authority looking for ways and means to organize all the funds. No problem, it's all good. But we're saying that the hands to which these monies are going to is where the problem is. If 1.4 trillion didn't do anything for you, 1.6 billion will certainly not do anything for you. We're praying that if they are able to retrieve these monies, the right things will be done with them. But you see, it's still worrying for you to even want to dream. I mean, we have gotten to that point where, personally, I don't dream anymore. I don't dream of a better.
You lost hope.
KMJ, like nothing is changing. Like I told you the last time, if I walked out in the street to circle today and I see Baomia holding a cutlass, like it's no news. Like I'll just continue driving and just go like everything is normal. They don't see anything wrong with it. They don't see anything. This year, you're going to be paying monies for fumes, fumes that are coming out of your vehicles.
Yeah.
I think it said it's 100 Ghana cedis per year, So now we're going to be paying the fumes in our vehicles too. I can imagine what the trotro and the taxi drivers are going to be doing. Like, KMJ, meanwhile, while you complain about all these fumes, when you go to Agbubulushi here, ties are being bent on a daily basis, like, going, I don't know how much they are going to pay for it. They're gathering the monies from every corner. They're gathering the monies from every angle. Some people say they are laundering it outside the country as well. They have accounts outside the country. I'm hoping that the GRA would actually start looking into the accounts of politicians, who have actually, because, we know the Cayman Islands and the likes, monies are being thrown out there. It's fine. It's okay. They would leave power if Allah wills in 2024, this year. KMJ, the reason why the president has not been able to sack the finance minister is because of the kind of rots that are found in there. Recently, we're looking at the SML thing. Government is now telling us, the presidency is now telling us that we want you to investigate. We want to find out on what basis the GRA signed a contract with SML. Didn't GRA come to tell us that there was no agreement in the first place? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So we want to clear this one too. 2 weeks. We want to clear this one too. Let them gather all the money. But I'm telling you that this should have been good news, but the hands to which these monies are going to is not going to make any good use of it.
Very well. I understand that Padre Wachidakwa is joining us via the phone. He's government spokesperson on governance and security for the NPP. And unfortunately, he's not been able to make it to the studio, but we'll try as much as possible and engage him on the phone as well. But Padre, if you can hear me, good morning.
A very good morning to you, KMJ, and very happy New Year to you, and a very good morning to Adele.
My brother Paul.
How is the work on off?
The good people of Obaka North are very geared up to change. They are very excited at the coming of Padre Wachidakwa as an aspirant. I am very certain in my mind that I engage all delegates, the patrons, and engage with the stakeholders in the constituency. They have seen the humility, they have seen the love, they have seen the availability, they have seen the faithfulness, they have seen the service. They have seen that, indeed, the nephew of J.B. Dankwedu, who was the former MP, coming from Old Tafo, is coming to continue the very good works of the uncle. And no doubt in my mind that as we prepare for voting on Friday, which I know we're going to talk about, and even prepare for the main voting in the next 3 weeks, I will come out victorious. And KMJ, I want to thank Joy Prime for your support, and I promise you that you will be the first to break the news from a Obaka North constituency that Padre Wachidakwa has won and unseated the Deputy Minister for Education. And that is going to happen in a very clean, transparent, honoring, and respectful campaigning process. I like your suit, and it looks very good.
Thank you so much, and we wish you the very best as well. And of course, I know that you've been on the phone and you've been following the conversation, the GRA issue. What do you want to say about that as well?
So the government of Ghana and President Nana Akufo-Addo is very clear in our mind to ensure that we expand and open the revenue mobilization model, which is why for us as a government, we are always looking for avenues which we can be able to expand revenue budget. And I think it's very good for the government, good news for the Ghanaian people. They are being after some more revenue, which is totaling about $8 billion. I mean, not that is going to help significantly with that revenue by the effort. And it's important while government takes steps, Ghanaians become very responsible, paying their own taxes. Because this is a very important step. It's an engineering, it's a Ghanaian people have a lot of possibility. The promise President has promised President last, and I'm sure that within this first by delivery, the state of the nation that President to get last intervention for us to have a clearer idea how we have come as a country from 2030 to next. And so, commend government looking in the area which we can be able to raise a lot of revenue. But revenue is very for us, ensuring we're able to meet these demands of the country.
We're struggling to follow because of the connection, but we're hoping that we'll be able to sort that out so we can have a free flow of the information you're giving us this morning. But let's move on to the next issue. So this has been a very serious issue that has come up, ever since that we had the district elections. And of course, it has to do with the indelible ink issue that the EC has decided not to actually put, as part of the elections for this year. They said that the biometric machine is capable enough to actually do the work. But the Global Security for Africa Research and Good Governance, GLOSAG, has actually warned the Electoral Commission, the EC, to actually reverse the idea of using the biometric machine and not the indelible ink. They speak about the fact that it's fraud and it's something that would not go well for the elections 2024 if the EC goes ahead to actually use the biometric machine and not the indelible ink. Now, with concerns that were raised from the elections, that were just done, you might be also worried about it. But Adele, Palgrave himself is not happy about this. I mean, he spoke about the fact that we needed to take a second look at that decision by the EC. Is it that the EC does not want to listen? Because day in and day out, there are concerns that are being raised about this indelible ink thing.
KMJ, so the issue of this indelible ink is one that, poses a lot of worry. The head of GLOSAG indicated. He said something categorically. He said, look, if care is not taken, this thing would trend into chaos and it will create too much problems going forward. KMJ, even when there is indelible ink, we've had situations of overvoting in certain places, even with indelible ink. We've had situations like that. Why is that? I was watching the UTV the last time, and one of our communicators with an MPP communicator was indicating that in reality, when you actually vote, there's a chemical that you can place your hands in, and then it gets to wash the whole thing off. And for the first time, I've been voting. Yeah, I've been voting for years. I never knew there was a chemical that you can actually just dip your hand into.
Well,
and then this whole thing.
It's temporarily.
It's temporal, but it means. Of course, it means that it always pretty much. But at least we know that within that day, because some people would have it on for like 2-3 days before eventually goes off. Voting takes only 1 day, pretty much. Now, KMJ, look at it from this angle. I indicated here the last time that, look, you have a system that you're running, but you know that your system is not 100% foolproof. You know that. You know that because there are situations where you have gotten to site and then you realize that people, either issues with their fingers or their problems with the system, it is not able to actually verify them. So constitutionally, we agree that we're supposed to have what is called manual verification. So when someone goes through the system and it doesn't work, we say, okay, let's check it. Let's find the details, let's click on it, and then let the person proceed and then move on. The question we're asking is this. On the situation where you manually verify somebody to go and vote, what is the evidence that the person has actually voted? What is? There isn't. So we're saying that, look, maintain the indelible ink for everybody else. In any case, you have nothing to lose by making sure that you have two systems in place to check over voting. You know why we get worried? We get worried because of the kind of things that happens in Ashanti region. You know, and it gets really worrying. Look, in 2020, at a point in time, some of our polling agents would have to leave polling stations. Why? Because they are being threatened. People are being beaten. You know, like and then your agent has to leave. We're saying that whatever systems are being put in place for election 2024, this is not the kind of election the NDC is going to come and sit and play like what happened in 2016, 2020. No, it won't happen. Like the Electoral Commission has to start to think. Like she has to start reasoning to the fact that the NDC is up for this election and we're not turning back. If she doesn't come to that conclusion, if they're thinking it is business as usual, and then we're going to have a flag bearer who come and say, oh, no problem, let it go. No, we're not going to let it go. Do the right thing, like make sure the right thing is done. His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo has served this country. He came at a time in 2016 when things were done in a certain way. So he had that feeling. He went, he campaigned, he had his elections, he won the elections convincingly. Right? Free and fair. It was open. It was critical. Who appointed, former Charlotte John Dramani Mahama? Clean. We want him to make that condition, to make that atmosphere that we created for him in order for him to become president in 2016. We want that replica in 2020, in 2024. That's what we're asking for. We're saying, look, let it be a free and fair election. You have come to serve. It is not for you to place on the people of Ghana who you want. And he keeps talking about that thing. I'm going to make sure this is the last time, this is the last thing I have left to make sure that Bawumia becomes, are you God?
But whilst doing that, he still promised that we're going to have a peaceful election.
Yeah, that is how the cunning people are. Look at the finance minister. They come to you. Wasn't that the president who told you there will be no haircuts? These are the people. They have a nice way of making you feel comfortable while they're doing dubious things behind the scenes. That's what they do. That's what they do. They will come and tell you, we don't agree with the Electoral Commission, but they're speaking behind the scenes. We're not taking anything for granted for these elections. We're saying that, listen, they should look at it critically. This is not just about NDC. This is about the average youth tired. We're tired. We're sick and tired of it. 1.4 trillion could have changed the lives of people. They've had enough, 7 years, they've spent enough, it's okay. Let's go for the elections. Let it be free and fair. If it is free and fair, there's going to be peace. Where there's no equity, there's no justice, there's no peace. When Ghana, at a point in time, found itself under what you call the colonial masters, what did we do? We fought. We didn't sit in the rooms begging. We didn't do that. We fought. People were arrested. People were sent to jail. People died. They have to understand that the people of Ghana are not going to sit aloof for them to take us for granted. No. Whatever assets we have as a state, it belongs to all of us. It doesn't belong to His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. Neither does it belong to John Dramani Mahama. It belongs to all of us. And all of us have the right to protect what it is that belongs to us. And we're telling them in their faces, 2024 is not going to be, a walk in the park. No, they're not going to have it that easy. We're watching critically. We're moving critically. We're ready to defend ourselves. We're ready to push forward. We're ready to make sure that the people of Ghana get what they deserve. In a nutshell, in conclusion, the Electoral Commission should notice this. If things go bad, it goes bad with her head because she has a responsibility to make sure that everybody gets that playing field to go into this contest and come out successfully without any mess. So much such that when we lose, we know we lose. Why? KMJ, in 2016 when the NDC lost, somebody will have to come and tell you NDC has lost. Nobody needs to tell you. When it's open and it's plain, when you lose, you know you've lost. Don't give us, that conversation of we having to now come and ask you what really happened. Like we did in 2020. You have an election and you announce 3 numbers. 3. You come and announce the first one. Oh, that was not it. Come back and announce another figure. Oh, it wasn't it. As if it wasn't enough. You come back to announce a 3rd figure. No, we won't take that. Whatever is going on behind the scenes, we won't take it. We're telling them in their faces. They should take it. They might as well arrest all of us or kill all of us. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Ayawaso West Wagon is not happening in 2024. The president should listen. It won't happen. We won't take it. The youth will poise for it. As the director of operations for Greater Accra Youth Wing, look, our young people we're getting ready. KMJ, we're going for this election. We're not insulting anybody. I've never sat on any platform to insult anybody. We're not insulting anybody, but we're saying that la dharra wa la dharar. We will not cheat you, but we will not allow you to cheat us. I don't think that is a crime.
Okay. Padre, if you can hear me.
I can hear you very well, KMJ.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
So, KMJ, electioneering is very important in this country. We are aware that electioneering is what gives us an opportunity to elect our leaders from a very local level, like the district assembly. Then you come to parliamentary elections, and then you would come to a major election, like a 2024 general election, where you would elect your president and also elect your parliamentary representative to represent you in parliament. I have cautioned that stemming from the district elections that we just held last year, and also with the confidence that the Electoral Commission has in the biometric system, which is key. But we realize that at the very lowest level of electioneering, which is the rural community, people vote with paper and pictures. So people don't even vote by names, which is why it is important that the NPP would have their symbol there and have their candidate there, which is Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The NDC would have their symbol there and have their candidate there, which is John Dramani Mahama. And the various political parties will have their symbols and would have their flag bearer's picture. In the rural community, they don't vote by name, they vote by picture. So it's important that the ballot paper is clean and clear and visible enough for an old woman, an old man in Old Tafu, in Nobi, to be able to see and say that I'm voting for the New Patriotic Party. I can affirm and believe that there is so much integrity with the Electoral Commission. Howbeit, in processing the process of ensuring that the biometric machine goes through the verifiable means, it's important that we move away slowly from the indelible ink. I have stated that it is important that we have an indelible ink in the election of 2024, because the biometric machine, when you start voting, the EC official will come and tell you, look at this, it's 0000. When you finish voting, and before the ballot papers are counted, the EC would come and tell you, official will tell you, these are the number of people that voted. But in the event that you go to table 1, and the machine is not being turned on or is jammed, and the person has not verified you, to go to table 2, where you go and pick your paper, and you go and vote, it means that you can have an opportunity to come back again, where you would be verified now, and then you would go and vote again. But if you have an indelible ink, should events that the table 1 where you are supposed to verify, the machine is jammed up, and they tell you to move to table 2 where you go and pitch your ballot paper, and you go and vote and you have your indelible ink, even though you have not been verified by the biometric machine, you still have a proof with the indelible ink on your hand, which cannot be easily erased in an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, which is why wisdom proposes that for an election that is so much keenly to be contested by Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia from the New Patriotic Party and John Dramani Mahama from the NDC, 2 major political parties, it is important that we leave no stone unturned. It is important that we ensure that this election is credible. It is important that the old woman, the old man in Obutase, in Bediase, in Nobi, in Pachinko, in Kofrodia, in Accra, in Choko, is assured that even though he has been verified,
he can tell the son and the grandson that, look at my thumb and look at my hand. I have this indelible ink. It is what ensures with our entire democratic processes and governance. So I would advise the Electoral Commission as an independent state organization. It won't cost us anything more to ensure that we have the indelible ink there. Because even with all of what we are doing, some people even tamper. And in tampering, you know that you need to tamper very well. So if we are not taking away tampering, then why are we taking away indelible ink? Because then we can easily say that let the people use a pen to think, or let the people use a pencil to think. But we haven't taken away the tampering of the voting processes. Why should we take away the indelible ink? I agree with the biometric system because, yes, it's very clean, it's very fair. If you come and vote twice, you go against the electoral processes, which is a jailable offense. You can go to court and all of that. But I think that as we move gradually away from the indelible ink, it shouldn't be an abrupt decision. We should gradually move away. We have used the district elections as an example. We have used the various internal elections from the various political parties, from MPP, NDC, CPP, those that have selected their flag bearers and selected their parliamentary candidates for open constituencies, and even those that are constantly done. We have used that process. I think that we should learn from wisdom. And going into a major election like the 2024 general election, we should have the indelible ink. That is what we know, so that we move away gradually from it. But for those of us in leadership, for those of us in governance, for those of us in politics, I think that for me, as a spokesperson on governance and security, it borders very strongly on the security of the election of 2024. Let's not allow people to have chaotic minds and think that because we have not used an indelible ink and the election has been rigged. I firm that the election of 2024 is going to be a free, fair election. That the Ghanaian people are going to make a decision on who they think is the right person to lead this country. And I'm in no doubt in my mind that they will choose none other person than Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. And it has to be fair. And that will be a decision for the Ghanaian people. So let's not take away an indelible ink for NDC to feel that because they lost an election, which has been credibly done, and which is the voice of the Ghanaian people, that Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is their next president. Because of an indelible ink, the NDC will say that the Electoral Commission has cheated. No. Let's get the indelible ink. Let's get the biometric. Let's allow every Ghanaian who is above 18 years old to exercise their democratic rights and power. And in that process, when Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been declared the president-elect for the next government, for the good people of this country, no other person can have any doubt that because we didn't have indelible ink, the election. Let's activate the full processes to ensure that this election is free, is fair, and has the integrity that it needs.
Very well. So these are concerns that have been raised. Unfortunately, the EC has not spoken about it yet. Now, what people are asking is, why is it so difficult for the EC to understand something that almost every single person that matters is against it? Maybe we'll get to the point where they'll make a decision to, because we've got some few months to do. So I'm sure maybe, but it's still difficult for people to understand why something that almost everybody seems to be, speaking about, the EC is not listening. That, okay, this is something that is of concern to a lot of Ghanaians, especially people like Glosak.
I mean, KMJ, look.
KMJ, you see, before we go to Adele, you know how it is with electioneering and how we always have people observing the election.
Yeah.
We always have these independent observers.
Absolutely.
ECOWAS will send in observer missions. The United Nations will send in observer missions.
Yeah.
In our own country, we'll have CODIO and other independent observer missions coming in. What we do not want is that at the end of the election, when any of these observer missions are sending in their reports from the EU, from ECOWAS, from AU, from UN, they state that because we didn't have an indelible ink in the voting processes, the election has not got the integrity that it needs. We need to be able to ensure that when the EU is writing their report about the election, when Imani is writing their report about the election, when ECOWAS is writing their report about the election, when AU is writing their report about the election, when CODIO is writing their report about the election, when all these independent observer missions are writing their report about the election, they will be able to state that looking at the key indicators of electioneering processes, Ghanaians turned up, there were no intimidation from the security services, the election processes were key, the ballot papers and the ballot boxes arrived on time, people started voting at 7 a.m., the election processes came at the end at 5 p.m. at various places, the lights were on for people to observe the accounting, the polling agents were there, the electoral coordinators were there, the various PSNs that are representing their political parties were there. There were no chaoses, there were no incidents recorded at various places. And so we from EU, we from ECOWAS, we from AU, we from UN, we from CODIO, we from CDD, we from the various independent observer missions can state that the election of 2024 has been conducted in a free, fair, transparent, and integral manner. And we agree with the Electoral Commission with the pronouncements that they have made on the next president of the Republic of Ghana. That is what we want.
Very well. Adele.
Listen, there are two things that are critical. First of all is the fact that when you're dealing with human beings, you have to understand that change takes time. Change has to go through a certain process for people to adapt. You know, people don't just adapt to situations like that. If you move right from cold into extreme heat, something happens to you. You understand what I'm saying? It takes a while. Our brothers and sisters who have lived outside the country, anytime they stay in for a long time, when they come back home, it takes them a while to get over their sleep patterns. You know, like
jet lagged.
You know, jet lag. It has to take a while. When you're dealing with human beings, you have to understand that things are done in a certain fashion. You want to announce to us about indelible ink a year before elections. What were you doing 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Why couldn't we have discussed this earlier? Why couldn't the people of Ghana have been involved in this? Why not? That is one. Two, is the fact that the indelible ink in itself reduces fraud. There are certain people who have the courage who probably will go and dip their hands in some chemicals and then make sure that they come back to vote in places that there's difficulty in entry. But here's the thing. When you have an indelible ink on your hand and you know very well that you have it and you know everybody who sees it knows that this means that I have voted, especially in our rural areas, you know, the courage to want to walk back in there and say you want to vote is going to be difficult. Yeah. Very, very difficult. Because, I mean, immediately you start walking to the place, everybody else is like, oh, but so what? Unless otherwise you have an ink. You have that chemical, we've been told, that the NPP is telling us there's a chemical. Unless we've been told that there's a chemical. And people would know that they have to go and dip their hands into it. But at the end of the day, what we're saying is that it reduces the fraud. It reduces it. It might not cut it off completely, but it reduces it. Go into the elections. Let us all go into the elections with a clear mind. Like we gave them, like the platform we gave His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo to become president. We gave you a platform. We gave you some ease. You went through the elections. You won the elections. Alhamdulillah. After 2012 elections, we were talking about some of these things. We went to court. The court decided, said, look, let's make some reforms. We did those reforms together. We made those reforms from 2013 all the way to 2016. We had that election free and fair. You won. You became president. Now you want to tell us who you want to lead after you. You have the temerity. And then you hear people like Samuel who talk about the fact that we win these elections with strategy. Then when he says that, the next thing you hear is that the Electoral Commission is saying, indelible ink, no more. We are closing polls at 3 p.m. No, don't do it. Like, they shouldn't do it. They shouldn't think it. We're not going to sit down and watch them. They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it. It's a free and fair elections, is what we're telling them. We're saying we're ready for it. You say you have done NAPCO. You say you have done USTAT. You say you have done what free SHS. No problem. The people of Ghana should be able to appreciate what you have done. Let the people of Ghana take a decision as to who they believe they would want to follow. Not for you to impose somebody on us. When you have sat down and supervised this mess for 7 years and tied our hands behind our back, and now that you're going home, you want to impose on us who you want. No, it's not going to happen.
The last time the NDC decided to have the weeding expose or whatever it is.
Right.
It was as a result of some comments that were made by Owusu Bempah. and also his decision to actually visit the former president. Now, the NDC operatives have sent a very strong warning again to Owusu Bempah, and it's because he seemed to be attacking the former president almost every time. Now, they believe that there are certain respects that are supposed to be given to certain individuals that have been occupying certain positions in this country, and they would uphold that. But indeed, they want the Owusu Bempah himself to also, as it were, stick to those, if you like, decorum. But then, if he continues to do the things that he does, say the things he says almost every time about the former president, they're going to deal with him ruthlessly. Adele, James Agbe, how did we get here? Where are we headed with this?
Right. KMJ, you rightly indicated something earlier that, the last time that we had a cleaning exercise, there was a reason, and we all saw the reason. Listen, KMJ, we started in this country, and we had the likes of Nana Akufo-Addo, we had the likes of Bawumia, we had the likes of Kenneth Ofori-Atta, we had the likes of all these other institutions in this country. Put His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in a particular seat and called him a criminal. They said he stole houses. He built houses in Dubai. He bought houses in Dubai. They said he took Ameri $1.6 billion, $160 million from Ameri. They said this, they said that, they said this. They've been in government for 7 years. They have not had the temerity. They have not had the courage to take him to court and prosecute him if they sincerely believed that those things that they accused him of was things that he did. Then you have somebody like Owusu Bempah, who, courtesy of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, today you are the PRO for Ghana Gas, but for John Dramani Mahama, you probably didn't have a job. Today, you're working at Ghana Gas, a situation that we solved. Put that aside. You have the temerity to come and say that you want to go to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's office to go and protest. Are you nuts? Excuse me, but what is wrong with you? 7 years. Why? If there's anybody who has power to prosecute, it is in the hands of you people, because you're in government. You have the Attorney General on your side. You have the police on your side. You have prosecutors on your side. Bring your case. Former President John Dramani Mahama has done A, B, C, D, E. And based on that, we're taking him to court. You will take him to court. You sent Opuni to court. We saw it. Then you say Airbus scandal. A case that has been thrown out by the UK government, thrown out for lack of merit. You say you're coming to the former president's office to come and protest. You see, these people, it's like now, when you're too excited, sometimes you become, excuse me to say, in Hausa we say, when someone is too excited, you become foolish. When you get too excited, you get to the point where you want to just do anything for fun. You have too much money, you want to do something. We're telling them, and we're not going to stop telling them, EMJ, I sit here on your studios. I don't agree with His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. I don't agree with Bawumia. I don't insult them. I don't. I speak my mind. I speak wisdom. If Owusu Bempah has any wisdom, anything minute to want to share with the people of Ghana about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, let him do it with decorum, with respect. But for him, you don't probably have a job. So if he's sitting there and he wants to make his things, he should do his things. KMJ, another thing, and let me throw this. Before we went for the cleanup exercise, I made a categorical statement on GH1. And thank God that after that, we saw the Interior Minister calling Owusu Bempah to order. We're living in a country where we have these political giants. President Kufuor has people who support him. Rawlings has people who support him. Nanado, when he leaves power, he has people who are going to stand behind him. John Dramani Mahama has people who will stand behind him. The national security, the police service, all of them would have to come to the conclusion that, look, you have a job to do to make sure that all of us are at peace. If you slap my wife and I have the power to slap you back, I'll slap you back. I'm not going to wait and go to the police station. If I'm standing there, right there in front of you, and you slap my wife, I will slap you back. No two ways about it. I'm not going to waste my time going to the police station to go report that you're slapping my wife when you're beating here and I have the power to. That is why the Constitution gives you what is called self-defense. We're not going to attack anybody. We're not going to beat anybody. We're telling them that the police service, national security, just as they advised him earlier not to step a foot in John Dramani Maham's office to say he's going to protest. You are sitting here, Sister Adapa, you know, he doesn't know Sister Adapa's house to go and protest. He didn't know that. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know where her house is. He doesn't know. This recent Ameri innovation, after we went and struggled to try to solve them, so everything that we did, after we had done it, you came to Parliament and you wanted to add almost close to 800 million to Ameri. Reason why Ejako left, he doesn't know Ejako's house. He doesn't know Nana Akufo-Addo's house. He doesn't know. Hey, they should stop. They should, like, all these things, it's no joke. KMJ, look, we're going for an election, we're serious. Why? Because the life of every Ghanaian is at stake. We're sick and tired. All these cameramen, people getting up every morning, night, day. People are going back at night. Go to circle. People are lying down on the streets. How much is their salaries? You sit down, you're earning salary, and this should go to all of us. And the NDC, God willing, when we come to power, we need to do things differently. People must feel that, look, this is our people. This is governance.
Is that what you're promising Ghanaians? Is that what the action is going to be?
We had 360 billion KMJ. This is how much we had. 8 years.
But when you're in your
360
position,
billion.
you think differently when you come to power.
KMJ, no problem. Today we're here. We can put the two on the table. We're saying that we had 360 billion. 8 years. Everybody saw what we did with it, even though they called us names. Today they're benefiting from it. They're benefiting. They've had 1.4 billion, 1.4 trillion, not billion, not 400 billion, not 500, not 600, 1.4 trillion. You're still sitting here talking about His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. What is wrong with you? In any case, why were you given the job? Who gave you the job? You said the man was evil. You said the man is ridiculous. You said the man is a criminal. The people of Ghana said, no problem, we're giving it to you. We've given it to you. You've sat on the seat for 7 years, wasted our lives, taken 1.4 trillion. You have nothing to show. You still want to talk about John Dramani Mahama. You have no shame. They have no shame. If they had, they would think twice. They'll sit back, relook at it. So we're telling them in the faces. We're telling them, look, KMJ, I can be arrested after these studios today. We're telling them in the faces. We're not relenting on 2024. They should take it. Okay. The president has lived his life. He's grown. He has reached a certain stage. He's going. We are coming. I may die before elections 2024. I don't know. But we're saying that we're coming. We're all going. We're going up. We want a society where we can get up, where a cameraman, a host, where that shoemaker, that cobbler can get up and say, this is me, this is Ghana. And I can get up and look for a hospital wherever I want to, and I can go and I can get my health insurance working. Look at what is happening to health insurance.
And is the former president that can give us all of that?
Are they giving us that?
All right. Paragraph, if you can hear me, I want to take your view on that.
Following the conversation.
Yeah, I want to take your view on that, please.
Well, basically, I think that Osu Benpai, a man of his own repute that can respond to his own issues in that regard. But, clearly to state that we are aware that every president sitting and outgoing has indemnity. And I think that we have state institutions that can be able to deal with any corruption or corruption-related activities. We just need to ensure that leading into the 2024 December election, every conversation is salient and backed with evidence and facts. We don't want to arouse emotions where there wouldn't be any need. And we don't want to get people angry where there wouldn't be any need. We have enjoyed a lot more tolerance within our political fraternity between the MPP and the NDC. We have friends across sides of the divide. We are building a country. We want a country that is united. We want a country that is built on policies. We want a country that is developing. And so if anyone has any issue with any certain president or a former president, I think there are right ways within which you would want to go through it. What we do not want is for anyone to disregard the seat that they have either sat on or they either sit on. And I think that it's important that if you want to have an issue addressed, you should be able to do it in the right manner. I don't subscribe to demonstration, and you know that. I've always asked that you always come to the table for conversations. I've always asked that you always come to the table for negotiations. I've always asked that you should use the right means within which you can be able to express your view. And once your views are heard by people and it's convincing enough, and there are evidential proofs
to those views, I think that whoever is in the state of the matter can be able to be brought to book. And so that would be my view on the issue relating to the former President John Dramani Mahama and the good friend also Bempa from the New Patriotic Party and from Ghana. I think that we should be able to let these issues rest in the right manner. But KMJ, the 2024 election, the 2024 election is as important as all other elections that we have had. The NDC can lose the election. Touchwood, the NPP can lose the election. But we go into an election believing that we'll win the election. And so it's not a do and die. So the NDC lose. They should not think that anybody has rigged because the Ghanaians have made a decision. So let's not make it like the election of 2024 is a do and die. Whatever it says, the NDC must win that election. It is not in that manner. The Ghanaian people are going to make a decision. And should the Ghanaian people make a decision that the New Patriotic Party should be the party of choice for the good people of this country and put in Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the president of the Republic of Ghana, it is the Ghanaian people. So it's not a do and die. It's a normal election as we have had. And it's important that every political party, including mine, educates the electorate so that the electorate votes very well. What we do not want is to have a lot more ballot papers destroyed, which could have been added to any political party's number to make sure that you have a convincing win. But I can assure Adele that John Dramani Mahama is no match for our sitting Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. We know it, which is why we are confident that we are going to win the 2024 election. Because we're going to win the 2024 election not by machete or cutlass or demonstration. We're going to win the 2024 election on ideology. We're going to win the 2024 election on competitive policy. We're going to win the 2024 elections on what we tell the Ghanaian people the future holds and what we believe that is a year of possibilities for every single Ghanaian person. That is what we are going to campaign on. We're going to tell the Ghanaian people that it is possible indeed for a young person to move from a village and come to the city and get employed. It is possible indeed to ensure that the local economy in every single constituency is revived. It is possible indeed that every single farmer that goes to farm will be able to get the benefits thereof if you're a cocoa farmer. That it is possible indeed that people that are involved in mining will get the benefits of that. That it is possible indeed that every single going child who finishes DHS will have an opportunity to go to SSS. It is possible indeed that people that want to go to vocational technical education can be able to have those opportunities to school. Those are the things that we are going to campaign on. We're going to tell the Ghanaian people that it is possible to drive on our fastest road. We're going to tell the Ghanaian people that rail is a possibility. There are a lot of things that we're going to tell the Ghanaian people that it is possible. And that's what we're going to campaign on. It's not a campaign of machete. It's not a campaign of cutlasses. It's not a campaign of holes. It's not a campaign of putting red things on your neck. It's not a campaign of burning ties if you have lost an election. It's an election of ideas. It's an election of policies. It's an election of development. It's an election where we're going to tell the Ghanaian people that it is possible. The Ghanaian people will believe in the possibility of Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud.
KMJ.
Yeah, a quick one, and then we'll move on to the...
Listen, Paul. First of all, let me say thank you to Paul for his initial conversations, and then to indicate that we would want more of that. However, having said that, because of course there is no need to really arouse tensions in anybody. It doesn't really make any sense because the truth of the matter is that KMJ, Paul on the line today would not agree on any day for anyone to take his son or his daughter or his wife for granted. If he has the power to protect them, he'll take care of them. That is just the way it is. It's a natural thing. If you put me on the floor here and you put your hands on my neck and you press, I will fight back. KMJ, it is what it is. So when we're asking you to let the thing look real, there are reasons why people have doubts. Why do we have doubts? We're going into an election. You have all these things happening. You have people like Bossman, who is well-known MPP at EC, telling, look, someone like an EC, the deputy EC, write statements to the NDC and talk to us as though, he has some control over what happens in the next coming election. And then you say we should sit down and just look at it. Like, everybody should just sit down and look. No, we won't sit down and look at it. It won't make sense. KMJ, listen, he talks about employment. and we'll do employment, and it's about ideas.
It's not
about
an election
yes,
of
it's
fight,
about
war.
no problem. It's
These
fine.
are ideas.
It's about ideas. You took unemployment at 8.4%. 8.4 KMJ. Even with everything that happened between 2013 to 2016, you took unemployment at 8.4. With our 360 billion, you have moved it to 14%. If it hasn't increased now, I don't know, but you have moved it to 14% after 1.4 trillion. What are you saying? It's about ideas, yes, bring the ideas, but we'll discuss Bawumia. We'll discuss his statements. We'll discuss the issues he has said. From 4.2 USD and to a man who now comes to tell us that it is okay for us to accept 11. Like, KMJ, that's why I said to you, if you have shame, you know it is difficult to even come to the people and talk. Have you noticed when Bawumia now speaks, he struggles? Recently, when he was having a conversation about this 24-hour economy, he went in, John Dramani Mahama says he has this, is a bad idea. Like, he's struggling for people to even listen to him. We're telling them, Paul, I can hear you. And we're saying that this election, we are starting this January. We're prepping in East Aya, so we are starting in Nima. We're putting up our screens and our projectors. We're playing the voices of Bawumia starting on the 20th of January. We're playing from every ghetto to every ghetto, every corner to every corner. We're reminding the people of Ghana what he said before 2012. We're reminding them of what he said before 2016, after 2016, and what he's still saying to today. We're not relenting, no. Okay, look, Paul, these elections will be very, very beautiful. Bawumia, we don't even need to speak. We will take his words against himself and then mention to him how much money he has received and tell us what he has done to the people of Ghana. KMJ, let's go.
All right, so I don't know if we've got some comments that we'll read them, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to have that, those of the messages that we've sent to us this morning here on the issues that we've discussed so far. If you just tune in here on the show, this is News Flash, and we're talking about policies, economics, and politics. Of course, Adele is in here with me. Palgrave is on the other side of the phone, and he couldn't make it to the studio, but he's joined us on phone, and so we've been able to, have his take on the show. Now, we'll be moving to our very last topic, and then we'll wrap up for today. Maybe when we have time, we'll do a bit of your messages that you've sent to us. But the NPP has actually put together a committee that will ensure that they supervise the vetting for the parliamentary aspirants in the constituencies. And so that election is coming up pretty soon. But then there's supposed to be some vetting. And Palgrave, let's speak about that. How are things going on with regards to that? You will be part of that process as well.
Very much, KMJ. So the reason why I couldn't join you in the studio is because I'm in the constituency. And we know that all politics is local. And so the goal was to wake up at about 5 a.m. and then use about an hour to drive to the city to join you on in the studio. But I came to bed around 3 a.m. You know how it is when you are doing door-to-door, and for one who is an evangelist, door-to-door is one of my greatest strength, going to people's homes in the night and talking to them and telling them that the future of Ebuakon North depends on you, that you make a right decision to make sure that you bring Palgrave Wachidankwa as your parliamentary candidate, that you vote for him. And so the election is going on. The vetting is beginning today all across the length and breadth of the country. I am going to go for my vetting on Friday in Koforidua, which is the regional capital. There are various persons that are going to be vetting us from the national office and then also from the constituency level. We are going to be vetted based on a number of issues that we are sure that once we are done with the vetting as well, they would show us the ballot where we would be placed on the ballot paper. So we are very confident that this is going to be a very clean, fair vetting processes where everyone who is vetted, who is credible, would have an opportunity to be on the ballot to be voted for. And so I am confident. I have been on the ground since. We've had to give them the month package and the New Year package, engage them. We started, people, especially those that finished President Nana Dankwa Kufado's 3 SHS, who have passed excellently very well. We are giving them scholarships for them to go to school. So we have a scholarship system, the Palgrave Wachidankwa scholarship system. Yesterday we started enrolling a number of them on our scholarship scheme. from Control to Obodasi to Nobi to Bediasi to Koprentumi to Otafo to New Tafo to Inginesin, all the various communities where young people are. We are enrolling all of them on the Pilgrim Watching Our scholarship system. And so I'm confident that the future of Ebuakanoff is going to be great. And I promise the delegates that Ebuakanoff is going to be great again. And that the pride of Ebuakanoff is going to come back again. That when people mention their names and state that they come from Tafo, they come from New Tafo, they come from Muslim, they come from Nobi, they come from Kokoretumi, they would have the pride to be able to say that this is where they come from. And so we are excited in this time. And you could come and see the morale here. And it's going to be a very victorious, it's going to be a one, I tell you, a very simple one touch. And KM just do that. I'm going to start the first. So look out for on the 27th of January 2024. And be looking out around 5 p.m. I'm sure by that time we would have finished with about 520.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sure that by 2-3 p.m. we should finish voting. Latest by 7 o'clock, we should have the results. And the results will declare me, Paul Wachidankwa, as the parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party. I am the person that would be able to stand with Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, 2 persons of integrity, 2 persons of weight, 2 persons of might, 2 persons of intellectual acumen, 2 persons of ideology, 2 persons of great digital innovation, 2 persons that when you drive from Accra to Kumasi and you get to Bosu Junction and you see the billboard with Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party and Paul Wachidankwa as the parliamentary candidate for the Ebuakanoff constituency, you would indeed see that hope is being revived in the New Patriotic Party. And so this is now, the campaign is on. Everywhere we go, we can be able to mention our ideologies, our policies. My policies are very simple. Infrastructural development. That there's a promise every single household in Ebuakanoff a toilet. Every single household a toilet. 1 toilet, 1 house. I promise every single household a toilet. I've done boreholes in Otafo, in Fofiase, boreholes in Inginesin. The goal is to do 14 other boreholes. Mechanized boreholes. That is going to happen. And I've also promised a scholarship for every single child who has finished free SHS. Full scholarship on the Pilgrim Wachidankwa scholarship scheme. And it's already begun. And come and see the excitement in the constituency. I've also promised that as an agrarian constituency, which are farmers who are into cocoa, we are going to put an end product. I've already begun conversations with some of my great people in Israel. You know, I lived and worked in Israel for a number of years. I've already discussed with them, and they're going to be coming in May of 2024 this year to start dealing with the farmers. So the cocoa farmers who farm, we are going to produce more cocoa in Ebuakanoff than has ever been seen in the history of this country under my leadership as the parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party. And I can assure you, KMD, that come December 7th, 2024, Pilgrim Wachidankwa will win this seat and declare it an MPP zone for the New Patriotic Party. There is no other political party that can survive in the Ebuakanoff constituency. We are going to flag every single household with the MPP colors. We are going to paint the street red, blue, and white with the MPP colors. We are going to revive the hope. We are going to restore the confidence. We are going to revive the grassroots, and they are going to see that of a truth. Their hope has not been dashed. And we are going to ensure that the life, the legacy of various MPs, including my uncle, J.B. Dankwedu, who used his blood, his toil, his sacrifice, and died whilst a member of parliament. We are going to ensure that his dream, aspiration, his hope, his dreams that he has dreamt to me every single night, telling me that he's come to stand for election. Every single night when I sleep, KMJ, my uncle dreams me a dream. He dreams me a dream and tells me I'm come to stand for the election. So I am assured that in this election that I'm going into the election with the hope and wit and might of the ancestors. I'm going into the election with the hope and grace and might of my uncle, Dr. J.B. Dankwedu, who died. And I am very certain that his justice that has been delayed will not be denied when I'm a member of parliament.
Let me see if I can have some messages over here, a couple of them, and then we'll say goodbye on this very segment. Can I have my messages, please? All right, Adele, maybe you can do a few of wrapping up for me on that one as well.
Very well.
Maybe you want to wish them well.
I mean, KMJ, we wish them well as it is, but there's something that, the MPP doesn't seem to stop amazing us. I mean, are you aware of the fact that Mr. Patrick Kuma Abwaje, Director of Ghana Health Service, is actually on the committee for the MPP? I mean, it's perhaps it is okay and normal, but you know, these things really get worried. You also know that the director for ADD, okay, Hassan Tali, is also on the vetting committee. Like, you have all these people.
Vetting committee.
Yeah, like you have all these people smiling and acting as though, you know, they are neutrals, and then all of a sudden they are all over MPP stuff. But I mean, it's good to go. We're praying for them. Paul, especially, I'm praying for him. And then, you know, that he wins his seat and then, you know, perhaps finds his way into Parliament.
The rest is matter.
The rest is matter.
This one says, good morning, Mr. Host. Please let the NDC man know he should let the Ghanaian vote for themselves. He's talking like he's wills for vote for everybody. Okay, I'm not trying to get that. Can I get the next one, please? Let me get the next message. This one says, good morning, KMJ. Adele is dreaming. We're talking of living goods and magicians. We saw what JDM leadership. We can't forget the 3 months pay policy. That's your message over there. Can I get the next one, please? All right, this one says, it's quite unfortunate that in their 8 years of opposition, Mr. Mahama and the NDC have failed to offer even one novel suggestion to improve the lot of Ghanaians. Instead, they are using the world's suffering as a political advantage. However, praise be to God, things are improving. MPP will undoubtedly snap the 8. Kind regards to Dr. Keskin Owusupoku. And that's from Osono Amil, sent in that one. Can I get the next one, please? So this one says, good morning, KMJ. The likes the man you're talking to, but I don't know which, okay. Let's just be a bit, you know. I don't like all these things. Yeah. It's too early in the morning to be calling people foolish and all that. Now, good morning. This NDC communicator in your studio speaks as if he owns Ghana. Ghana does not belong to NDC, but all of us, no person has the monopoly of violence. Ghana gas came to being because of the oil President Kufuor founded. So that's in Tamale, sent in that one. In fact, there is too much exposure from NPP, which makes Ghanaian youth touch bad heat even in their own country. Every day, GRA economy is doing meanwhile 1,000 youths locked out from the locked banks. NAPCO workers not paid, taxes everywhere. I'm wondering where Baumia is going to pick his new ideas as said by himself. EC issues should not be limited to the ink only, but their black and white picture registered and biometric given to one officer. Slowing voting process should be added in the discussion. No one in the NPP will never accept any failure or wrongdoing by their government. An EC officer as if Ghanaians are fools. 24-hour for agriculture farmer, SHS certificate holder, diploma holder, paracetamol back to hospital, textbooks back to school, lock banks for paying the fertilizer back to farmer, roads back to the land. Let's go under the umbrella. Juggler jargon. Got him from the Upper East, sent in that one. This one says, KMJ, please, I want you to let the NDC guy at the studio, Adele, you mean, know that we, the youth are tired of the NPP, but that shouldn't give them the hope that they are going to win. They did nothing when they were in power, so they should kill the mindset of them winning and stop talking about chaos if they don't win. We're not going to fight. Any outcome of the 2024 election will be accepted because no one is coming to do anything better for us to fight for them. Good morning, Joy Prime. Let the NDC man know that whatever evil they have planned will fall on their own head because nobody's going to fight them during 2024 election, which will bring Dr. Mahomia to office as president. Kinsley sent in that one. The inconsistencies of the EC relating to the discharge of their duties breeds skepticism among political parties and other well-meaning Ghanaians about their independence. This act of the EC to blatantly disregard court suits and defy public opinions to hold the voters' registration exercises in only district offices clearly undermine the generality of the Ghanaian populace, which has the tendency of putting our democracy under threat. As if that is not enough, Madam Jane Mensah has again taken a unilateral decision to take out indelible ink in the coming election without the consent of any political party. This is clearly a mark of voter suppression and a scheme in an attempt to rig the elections. Daniel Apialok from Sandema sent in that one. It says, I really commend Palgrave for the decision to provide scholarship scheme for the students in the constituency. I wish other parliamentarians can replicate this in their respective constituency. It is sad that a lot of our parliamentarians, after being elected into office, tend to neglect the very electorates that endorse them and rather would embark on mass and wealth to the detriment of the poor electorates. Now, another one over here says, I host the resident of us say results cannot be a true reflection of a system characterized by wholesale promotions, exams, malpractices with AI answers, cooked questions, and answer provided by GES, and malnutrition, lack of furniture in classrooms resulting in double track where students spend more time at home. Universities wouldn't be complaining of mass failures if results were genuine. While even provided evidence of massive exams malpractices from AI-generated questions and answers. MPP must stop playing politics and propaganda with the educational system. And that's from a concerned teacher and parents. All right. Can I get the next one? This one says, NDC has no message for Ghanaians, so they would rather mount screen to play back Baumia messages. Is this party serious, or Uzbempa is just a noisemaker? Election year, these foolishness shouldn't be allowed in any way. 2024, won the MP and you promising toilet in 2024, Paragraph Patch. Anyway, he's doing something at least. Let me get to another message, maybe. Okay, so that'll be all for this morning. My time is, fast spent. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do. Adele, let me say a big thank you to you this morning for making time for us here on the show. Palgrave, if you're still on, a big thank you to you.
Let me thank you, KMJ, for the real opportunity to thank your producer, Jennifer. I'm really grateful that through the mode of technology, I've been able to join this conversation this morning from none other place than from Ibuaka North Constituency. It means that I can live in the Ibuaka North and be working for Ghana.
Very well, very well. Palgrave Wachidankwa, government spokesperson on governance, head security and PP, and incoming for Ibuaka North. Adele bin Sheikh Umar Ibrahim, National Communications for the NDC, and also Director of Operations, the Greater Accra Youth Wing, joined us this morning here on our News Flash segment.